Yo, what's good, guys? So today I'm gonna be reviewing an old creepypasta I wrote about a year ago, and I don't think I'm gonna survive reading this creepypasta because it's so cringe. So that's why I invited my boy Ender Cryptid to help me with this cringe fest. What's good?
Yes, sir.
What's good, Ender?
Was good.
Yeah. So at least I'm not gonna die alone. Okay. You see my screen?
Yup.
All right. Crappy Pasta, The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog oh
Bruh.
my god, now I'm stuttering. Crappy Pasta, The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog VHS tape. So, have you ever come across a missing episode of your favorite TV show? Well, most people have not, but few people have seen or heard about a lost episode of their favorite TV show. When I was a young kid, I used to adore The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon. The show was a cartoon about, well, Sonic the Hedgehog and his silly adventures on Mobius. The way I watched the show was through DVDs in the mid 2000s. The DVDs we had were volume sets, and I owned all three. Am I speaking fast?
Um, my brain can't comprehend anything right now. I have no idea.
I'm probably going too fast. So I already passed the first two paragraphs. You understand? Oh wait, no, the
Yeah.
first two paragraphs are just filler. They're not actually a part of the story. There's just the narrator explaining shit. Okay, now we're getting into the story. One day during autumn 2006, I was walking home from school, and then I noticed something sticking out of a garbage can. It seemed to be a VHS tape. I took it and read the following: ASOS special episode. Do not watch! I then remembered that we didn't have a VHS player, but I kept the tape though, and walked home to do some homework. It was about nighttime, and I was about to finish. I heard something loud from the basement. So loud it made me jump. I got up and went down to the basement to see what could have caused the sound. It was an entire fridge of alcohol. I was about to exit, but then I noticed something. I spotted a VHS player. I asked myself, my parents own a VHS. I didn't question any further after going back up and finishing my stupid ass homework. I got curious about the tape again, so I took the VHS player and hooked it up to our family TV and placed the VHS tape inside. Okay, first five paragraphs, no cringe so far. Trust me, about to get cringe any paragraph now. Trust me. So be prepared. Get ready. Buckle up.
Bruh.
Put on your seatbelt. There's about to be a whole lot of turbulence.
On God. It was nothing but static for the first 4 minutes. Oh my god, fucking static. That is such a common like trope used in creepypastas, right? Like static. Like that is like peak cliche. The okay, after the static, the screen cut to black for about 19 seconds. Yeah, that was kind of specific. I was waiting for the actual episode to begin and got impatient. But eventually it began. I noticed something off with the theme song. It felt like it was missing an instrument or two, and not to mention that the animation episodes looked more saturated. 11-year-old me did not know what that meant. Some parts of the theme song felt laggy, and it would cut to black several times for about a frame. When the episode began, the quality went back to normal, and strangely enough, there wasn't a title to this episode. It showed a frightened looking Tails running from an unknown entity. Tails was running for about 20 seconds until he managed to juke him, only to fall into a pit of spikes. Tails unfortunately did not have enough reaction time to fly out and ended up getting killed by the spikes. And more disturbingly, the quality of the scene was worsening. The next 23 seconds showed Tails' mutilated corpse laying lifeless in the pit of spikes as the quality was decaying. Then the screen cut to black for 7 seconds before a loud scream from Tails. This is not going. This is not going great. This is not going good. This is the
Oh no,
downhill. This is gonna be the downhill. I'm gonna descend. This story's gonna descend to madness along with me. All right. The next scene showed Sonic with a concerned look on his face, wondering where Tails went. The screen zoomed in on his face as he told himself that Robotnik might have had something to do with this. Out of nowhere, the screen started to desaturate as Sonic was running to Robotnik's tower. The next scene showed Dr. Robotnik planning his next evil plan. When Sonic busted through the door, when he busted through the door, the screen went from black and white to being oversaturated again. Sonic started yelling at Robotnik, but much angrier and more frustrated in tone than any other episode I've ever seen. Robotnik said he had no idea what Sonic was talking about, but this made Sonic even angrier. Sonic's overall appearance changed drastically. His eyes looked red. His squill started to point up, and he held a he held a knife. Yeah, this is not going well. This is not going well. This is the cringe. I'm starting to cringe. Are you cringing, bro?
Well, yeah, kind of.
Bro, his
It's
eyes
kind
look
of
red. That was the part that got me. That, and like Sonic's just fucking delusional. That's also cringe. Okay, this next paragraph is probably the cringiest out of them all. That's probably the most cringiest line. Robotnik said he would quit villainy in a frightened tone, but Sonic said, "Fat fucks like you deserve to go to hell!" and stabbed him in the heart. Robotnik fell to the ground and drowned in his own blood, while Sonic stared with a smile on his face. The saturation on the screen came back to normal when he remembered about Tails and started to tear up. My stomach hurts. My stomach hurts. Oh my god.
why.
The cringe is like so powerful. It's like a bump of cocaine. He searched everywhere in movies looking for Tails. He started walking down the forest and he started hallucinating. Oh no. The screen started to lag. The sound of children crying started to play in the background and it got louder every 6 seconds. The trees were on fire. The sky was a dark red. The ponds and lakes were dried up entirely. The screen started to saturate, and most disturbing of all, Sonic started to deform. His eye sockets became black voids and started completely desaturated. His nose was melting, and blood was gushing out of his nose. The sequence of Sonic walking in the forest lasted about 3.5 seconds before he stopped and looked down at his pit. When he looked down, his appearance went back to normal, and there was not a single sound. The screen zoomed in on Tails' rotting corpse, and all that Sonic would say was, "I fail Tails." Sonic walked away with a depressed look on his face. It stayed on Tails' corpse for about 34 seconds before the entity from earlier noise I've ever heard in my entire life. I started screaming in terror and went under the blanket instead of turning off the VHS. The last thing I remember from that night was the credits of the episode playing in reverse and sounding overall distorted. That was so hard to read. You don't understand. That was so hard to read. This entire paragraph is the definition of plagiarism. I just stole from Suicide Mouse. This is basically Suicide Mouse, but Sonic. During the night, I had a horrifying nightmare where the entity from the episode chased me in a forest at night. All I heard was blood curdling screams behind me, and getting louder and louder. After running for so like a minute, I was behind me, and then you were gone. I stopped running. I felt a sigh of relief, but I felt something on my shoulder. The very next second, I was in a void, and the last thing I heard were the following words: "You're fun to play with, kid." When I woke up the next day, the TV was turned off, and I carefully took the VHS tape out of the player. Look, carefully took the VHS tape out of the player. When I mean carefully, I mean you're like covered in a blanket. You can't see. You can barely see. You can you like cover the TV. You just take the VHS player. What if like the TV just like scares you with the same monster from like last night, and you have a heart attack and die? Like that's what I was thinking back then. I put carefully. I'm cringing so hard. Then I did everything I needed to do before school started. I placed the tape in my book bag and went to school. And then bragged about the fucking tape to all my friends. Okay, I didn't actually put that in the story. I'm happy I did not do that. That would have saved a little bit of my sanity. currently I wonder why
Dick.
animation would make such a episode. I knew that Dick Animation went defunct over 5 years ago, so I contacted Sonic Team regarding the episode. They responded saying that they never heard of such an episode. I then contacted some of the artists that worked on the show, only to get the same reply. I then remembered that the voices in the episode were off, so I knew contacting the voice actors would not work either. I went on Twitter to tell everyone about the episode, but when people thought I was trolling them, and they claimed that they never heard of it. To this day, I have no idea behind the creation of this nightmare, and in conclusion, this is just another mystery in the dark. I'm surprised I survived that. I'm actually surprised.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. The most craziest part, it was nice playing with you kids. That was crazy.
Oh God. You know what's even more crazy? Is that this is
But
not the only creepypasta I wrote. There was another
Another
one
one.
I wrote. And it was about happy tree friends.
oh,